My name is Alex Damm, and this is my family's 1949 Chevy 3100 pickup truck. Some background about the pickup. This was like the first generation that Chevy built after World War II. It was called the Advanced Design Series, so that was the name of the generation, and the years spanned from 1947 all the way to early 1955. And there are three models you could get in this pickup. You could get the 3100 half-ton, which is what we have, the 3600 3/4 ton, and the 3800 1-ton. You could get it in a 216 engine or a 235 engine. Usually the heavier trucks have a 235. And you could get it in a 3 on the tree or a 4 on the floor. This truck we have was a 3 on the tree, but we converted it to a 4 on the floor. Typically the 4 on the floor you'd see in like the heavier pickups, like the 3/4 ton and the 1-ton. My grandpa bought this pickup with the intent to use it throughout the field, particularly transporting vehicles out into the field, so different machinery for farming, and also to fuel up different vehicles with like the tractors when he's tilling the land. After it was painted in '69, it worked in service like within the different farm land that we had owned, and also within the mobile home park that my grandpa built back in the '60s. And up until '79 it was used, and then after '79 it was put into storage out in a field here in Westminster, California. And then at 2005 it was trailered up to Visalia and sat in a barn up until around 2013. I had always wanted to restore a car with my dad, and I remember bugging him constantly through junior high and high school to do a project. And for, just because of time or money or different circumstances in life, it never happened. And so that desire for me had never gone away. And so once I got out of college, I got my own job, I started saving up money with the intent to do a project. And around Christmas of 2013, my brother Eric came to me and he was like, well, why don't we, do something for Dad? That'd be really cool, and have this project that we as a family could do. And I presented myself to the Miller family and I said, I'd really like to buy Grandpa's pickup and restore it because it's owned by the company, and would you be willing to allow me to do that? And I know my Uncle Walter, who I had spoken to a lot about it, told me as long as you restore it to the originality, the way Grandpa had it. And I said that was my intent the whole time. Went up to Visalia, which is where the truck had been stored since 2005, and it was in a barn there. I got up there and we had the trailer ready to load it on, and looking at the truck, a lot of things were needed to be done on this thing. All the corners on it were pretty much done, but for the most part the body was intact, and a lot of the integrity of the metal structure was still there, which was really nice, and all the original parts were there, which is really good. All the door handles, steering wheel was in decent shape, but regardless of all that, it needed a complete frame-off restoration and sitting for a while. I was essentially out of my skill set at that point to do anything else. We were trying to get the truck ideally ready in time for my wedding, so my grandparents could we could have something of them be present at my wedding, which meant a lot to me. So at that point, we were referred to Dave Prukop, whose shop is in Huntington Beach off of Gothard, through a friend of ours who had done a bunch of restorations in the past. And Dave, Cash, and Daryl were primary dudes who worked on this pickup and spent long hours, long nights, weekends, doing a fantastic job on the body and paint and getting this truck done in 4 to 5 months. Dave and Cash and Daryl were working on the project. It was really sweet because they let me get to shoot the paint of the car when it got time to do paint after all the body work had been done. As the project went on and it got closer towards the wedding, we just became very close, and Cash has his own advanced design pickup, so he, in particular became very attached as well. And there was a really funny debate over the paint too, and how Dave wasn't a huge fan, but I guess it's grown on him, and that was really funny. And we've just all become very close and attached to the pickup. The truck has been my family for 60 years, and so unfortunately not everyone could be at my wedding to see this once it was complete. Everyone had known in the Miller family that I'd been restoring this thing and working every weekend with my dad, and my friend who taught me how to weld, and everyone knew that we were going to town on this thing. So some people couldn't make it, and because of that, we were really keen on bringing it to the Miller family Christmas this year for 2016. We pulled up, and all my aunts and uncles were there, and they got to see it and check it out, and it was so cool. Like just opening up, the driver's door, telling them all about what we had done, and this process and that process, and it was just so cool to just have the family be there for that moment now that it's done, and everyone can enjoy it and see it, and have a piece of grandma and grandpa that is tangible and reminds them of their childhood. And I'm just so blessed and happy that my aunts and uncles allowed me to do this project, and now it's like this family heirloom that we can take to all the future family events. I'm a firm believer that older vehicles have a story to tell, and that's why I gravitate more towards them, and trucks in particular, because my mom's family's history with them, and I just gravitate more towards those vehicles, and they speak more for me. At the end of the day, it was a whole lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and a big labor of love, but I'm just so happy and blessed that this car can be a time capsule for future generations to enjoy.